Rogan Report podcast. Check it out.
All things Joe Rogan by day. Rogan Report podcast by night. All day. All night. A half hour to an hour-ish episodes once a week.
The Rogan Report podcast.
All right, Shane, welcome back to the basement. This is episode 33, what we're calling season 2, and some exciting stuff to talk about today.
Fuck yeah, it's been a little while here.
Been a minute, yeah. What? So 2 weeks, I want to say?
Yeah, it was 2 weeks as of Wednesday.
Okay, yeah.
And it's Friday now, so
a little over 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Well, it's okay. So we don't have to, we're not committed to.
We kind of figured this summer probably space things out about this much.
Yeah, a little bit more space there. And really, it's just for me, when I hear an episode, like if I don't hear an episode that really like moves me or where I really learn something, I don't really feel the need to kind of recap on it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just me.
Yeah.
But let's go through the table of contents as we're kind of committed to doing now. And right off the topic, we're going to talk about police violence and data wars with cell phone companies.
Yep.
And then I thought we might call our JRE the keys of JRE. Or keys from JRE or something like that.
That's a good idea.
The JRE recap. I don't know. We need some name for that segment.
Yeah.
But I'm going to talk about happiness and other things from the JRE 1309 with Naval Ravikant.
Nice.
And then, that was my favorite episode in the last 2 weeks. And then you wanted to talk about Sober October, which was also actually a great episode. Looking back on it, a lot of fun happening in that kind of preview. Although they didn't really decide 100% on what things are going to be.
But it was kind of funny, their lack of decision.
Yeah. And then, of course, we'll recap UFC 238 a little bit, and then maybe talk a little bit about 239, which is maybe the best card that's ever been. Yeah. Although I'm disappointed that they canceled the, what's the French guy? Ngannou versus... somebody I forget, but
too.
Initially that was on the card and now it's not.
Yeah.
So we'll talk a little bit about that. But yeah, and then maybe touch on some of the other big sports things that have happened.
Yeah. For sure.
Long table of contents. Sounds like this is going to be about an hour and a half long episode, but I do kind of have a hard out because I have to go to work. So We'll see. We can maybe just be quick on some of these things.
For sure.
So right off the top, pick. There's a hyphen in there right off the top. Hyphen IC topic.
Very nice.
I feel like that needs to be explained to people that aren't reading that somewhere. Right off the top pick is police violence. So there was a video that surfaced from Calgary police, and it's a 3-second video. And what happens in the video is there's like a young lady who just all of a sudden screams, "I fucking wow!" and lunges at a police officer, and then 2 female police officers immediately react to that by grabbing her by the neck and pushing her against a chain link fence, and then hauling her to the ground.
Kind of what they would call a soft takedown.
Yeah.
Even though it didn't look that soft.
Not the softest.
but it actually is, I think, by definition, a soft takedown, what they did.
Yeah, I think so, too, because they didn't bash her. They weren't hitting her with any batons or anything. Mind you, we didn't see, all we saw after that, they had her flipped over, had her in handcuffs, and then the video is, there's like a young, nice male police officer who's like, "You guys can videotape if you want, just please stand back."
Did appreciate that part.
Yeah, being super friendly.
Yeah.
And just kind of giving them some space. But we could see that they weren't beating her in any of the...
The whole crowd seemed to be upset, though. At the same time, the crowd seemed to be maybe young adults to teenagers, skateboarding types.
And the problem is we didn't... I would have loved to have seen a 5-minute video of the beginning, the whole start of the interaction.
Right. Why are they there even talking to the lady?
Yeah.
First of all.
How did police come over to start getting involved?
Yeah.
What did they... I didn't even hear what they asked, that she was like...
So my initial reaction, I have kids that age. And we found out from info. Actually, I found out more from reading comments than I did from the video.
And how much can you even trust that? Because somebody said that it was a handicapped 14-year-old girl, right? Yeah. And I was like, is she a handicapped 14-year-old girl? That's what somebody said in a comment, but how much is that?
Right.
It's hard to believe that.
And that whole day, I actually searched for a real news story on it and did not find one.
Yeah, tough.
And I got to be honest, I didn't look after that.
Yeah, no. But presumably there probably wasn't
no, I don't think it was newsworthy necessarily.
No, it was a pretty minor altercation. And so it came to light to us because one of our good friends posted it and was like, "Fuck police, fucking they've gone too far, blah blah blah."
Yeah.
And to which you responded, "Yeah, I understand. I have kids. This makes me sick," which I get.
I did think that maybe there didn't need to be even a takedown. And I'm not necessarily sure she even was lunging, more as speaking forcefully. You know what I'm saying?
She was screaming.
Her hands were back the whole time.
Her hands are back, but she jumped forward.
Yeah.
Like, she didn't
She did jump forward at a cop.
She didn't stay in one place.
If you're in fucking South Central, you're getting shot up probably for that shit.
Well,
so,
she was white,
yeah, that's true. But didn't look that rich, so.
No, true.
You got to weigh all the
factors. Yeah, I don't know. So people are saying, yeah, fucking gross. And then I commented like, hey, I don't think it was that bad. Like, maybe it was slightly over the line, but just slightly, because they didn't hit her at all. She wasn't like, and she did seem like she was a problem. But I also said, because we're only seeing 3 seconds of this interaction, that there's no way for us to really judge more than just those 3 seconds.
Yeah.
In those 3 seconds, they took her to the ground. They didn't hit her. To me, and she was screaming at them in a way that looked very violent. So to me, it seemed like they had to do something. It all seemed justified.
It was a story missing its prologue and its epilogue.
Yeah. But I think the optics of, because they grabbed her by the neck, that just made it look a lot worse than it actually was.
Yeah.
Like, someone can grab you by the neck. If they only grab you by the neck for 3 seconds, you can go 3 seconds without breathing. You know.
Also, though, is it choking necessarily just because it's grabbing by the neck? I don't think so.
That's the other thing. Yeah, you're not. You can go 3 seconds without breathing. You're not being choked.
Yeah.
You know, even if you. Yeah. We don't even know if she couldn't breathe in those 3 seconds.
So it seemed like the other cop grabbed her arms, right, and the one cop grabbed her by the throat.
Yeah.
I mean, grabbed her by the neck.
Do you think
we'll say?
Yeah.
Maybe they grab by the neck to ease them down to the ground as they're going down, so
protect
that they're
their
not
head.
smacking their head off shit on the way down.
They do like to protect people's heads as they're putting them into cop cars.
Yeah, there has been a story on that.
They always do that.
Wasn't it like a few years ago in the news? New York cops like drove this dude, fucked him up in a paddy wagon before bringing him back, and he was basically dead when they opened the door.
Yeah,
I'm sure that was a story, but right around the same time of the Can't Breathe movement.
Yeah, I recall that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so that was that happened. Go to Facebook and you can search. Maybe we'll share a link to that later on if you want to check that out.
Yeah.
All right, and then there's some big cell phone data wars you were telling me. I didn't really hear about this.
Yeah, I only know this because I, like a nerd, I look at Google News every single day, like 15 times a day. But it's been a thing. Rogers started it by making an unlimited data plan. And I mean, fucking finally. And I think Bell matched it.
Okay.
TELUS is doing some different thing, but offering huge incentives. So, I mean, I'm sure it works out to being similar money saved or earned or whatever.
What is the price on the unlimited data? Do you know?
I don't know. I don't think they've actually released it yet. I don't think there's any plan out there to get yet. I think it's a news thing.
Okay.
And now there's going to be a price war, which is kind of sweet.
Yeah, I dig that.
For the end user.
Right now, I'm not under contract. We did a couple of years ago, there was a big bring your own phone, and you get $60 for a month for like 8 gigs of data, and it was like it was definitely the best plan going if you already had your own phone.
Yeah.
And so I did that, and I've just been kind of riding that wave. My phone is kind of getting a little bit outdated,
a bit brickish.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind replacing it, and if there's going to be some big new war, then hey, great. And if I'd love it if I could have unlimited data. Although with the amount of data I use, I basically have unlimited data now. It's not like I'm using
That's
more
sort
than
of a point I wanted to hit.
Gigs.
With unlimited data, aren't people just going to fiend hard on their phones even more?
Maybe.
If you don't even have to worry about it,
yeah,
you're just going to be watching a YouTube video everywhere you go.
My point, though, is I don't worry about it right now because
you don't use that much.
Seems to be basically unlimited. It doesn't matter if it's 8 or if it's unlimited. I'm only using 4.
You're not trying to watch videos as you're going from place to place.
No. But I do stream Spotify. Like I don't worry about. I do, and I stream YouTube videos. I don't worry about like if I want to watch a YouTube video somewhere, and I'm not.
Yeah.
You know, I guess it's just the volume of it.
Yeah.
I don't have the inclination to do it more.
How bad is Spotify?
Well, it's only audio, so it's not going to be the same as streaming video.
Talking kilobytes or megabytes rather than gigabytes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And then the maps, I use maps all the time too, and maps actually eats up a fair chunk of data.
That I used to use a lot with Skip the Dishes. That was
a
big brunt of my data usage.
Totally. So yeah, cool things to look for in the coming month here, I guess. Look out for those plans, and wouldn't hurt if you to go shop around, listeners, if you're in at least the Edmonton market. I don't know how broad these deals are going to be. Is it across Canada?
I'm assuming it must be.
Well,
if it's cross Canada news,
I don't know.
we'll get back to you.
We'll get back to you on that. So, 4 keys from JRE. I was amped about this episode, number 1309, Naval Ravikant. I think I'm saying that correctly. It was just full of little nuggets of wisdom.
Yeah.
And like I wrote down a couple of my favorite quotes from the episode. I highly recommend going and listening to the whole thing. Well worth it. And he's going to be way more articulate than I am in recapping this. But one of my favorite things, they talked about it right off the bat, is happiness is a choice. Yeah. And that's sort of a controversial statement, especially now. There's a lot of people out there, I'm fucking depressed. Fuck you. I need my drugs. You can't tell me that you can fix me with exercise or eating right. Fuck you.
Or
give me my drugs.
Choosing happiness.
Yeah. Or choosing happiness. I can't just fucking choose. You think I wouldn't choose? If I could choose, of course I would choose. And fucking legit as fuck, that is correct. There are those people out there. But we have to also acknowledge that, and this has been a topic on JRE, that there are people out there that could solve their own problems with, not just eating right or exercising, but correcting circumstances in their lives that are leading to this terrible feeling. Totally. And pushing people out of their lives that are abusing them, starting over, getting their shit together generally. And I have a reputation for being a very happy person. Yeah. And I remember ever since I was about 20, I had a lot of hard times when I was young, but I do remember kind of prioritizing my happiness when I quit working at Weatherford and I started teaching skiing, and I realized how much of a difference it made in my life to be happy doing something 40 to 50 hours a week versus being bored and in, serious back pain.
And maybe making a couple bucks more an hour.
Yeah, making really an inconsequential amount of money. Yeah. Like, you could look at it as like making a coffee and a cheeseburger more a day or something like that, right? Like it's just it really hit me, and it was a big revelation I had that I was like, okay, I need to make sure that whatever I'm doing in my life, I'm happy doing it. And so then I went and started working in a bike shop after teaching skiing. And now working in the bike shop, there are things there that I didn't love doing. I didn't love cleaning up displays and organizing products or, pricing things. And I don't love that about my current job. But I was able to find things in the job that I did love and choose to kind of focus on those things. And that's the same thing with my new job. I love my job that I've been doing for the last 18 years. It's been fantastic. Yeah. But it's not like everything I do is like I'm just so amped and happy to do it, but I choose to focus my mind and focus on the things that I love about the job. And that keeps me relatively happy with my work.
And if you believe the law of attraction, that's going to bring other happy things to you.
Yeah. And there are fun challenges.
I kind of believe that. I mean, if you're walking around as a happy person, you're going to kind of attract more happy people.
I hope so. And I hope that my influence on the people that are in my circles is that I help make them happier. I like joking around at work as well. I don't take things too super seriously. What's the worst thing that could happen? Oh, we lose a couple $1 million. Nobody died.
That's right. Yeah.
So, that was a big thing for me. And he was saying like smart people are happy, which is another thing, because you hear like people say often ignorance is bliss, right? That's a big famous saying. Ignorance is bliss, and there is something to that, and that comes from not knowing about all the world's problems. Is like the more you know and the more you focus on all the things that are going terribly, the worse it's going to affect you.
Yeah.
But if you look, he was saying like, fuck that in a way. And like, you could choose to know about all the problems, but you can also choose to know and learn about all the great things that are happening in the world.
For sure.
And really what it all boils down to is focusing on yourself. And they were saying that there's like this disease of abundance right now. It used to be because we evolved in times of scarcity. Anytime you could find sugar, you were like, man, eat as much of it as you can. Anytime you could find some entertainment, get as much of that entertainment as you can, because it wasn't there all the time. And we were, we had hard lives where we had to be constantly looking for food and not getting eaten by lions. And so the biggest way to be happy is to find peace for him. That's what he says. And peace is happiness at rest. And I really thought that was like a great little quote. And then happiness is peace in motion. So it's kind of like a full circle thing. And they talked a little bit about meditation and how meditation can help your mind and, being content to being by yourself.
Yeah.
and how you can convert peace into happiness. And I was like, man, that is a great little nugget. And yeah,
It's deep and it's real.
yeah, that was like my biggest kind of takeaway from that was just happiness. And so I'm going to try to, I do that, and I was thinking as myself, man, I do that, but I'm also thinking to myself, you know what, I could probably try to do that more. So this next today, I'm going to go and I'm going to try to do that more.
Nice.
So, and then you wanted to talk about the Sober October.
Yeah, kind of its history and what they're going to do this year, and also the potentiality of maybe us doing it. I was thinking maybe.
Yeah. I mean, we'll have to wait and see what it is. I mean, I guess we could take dance classes, but
yeah, that would be fucking funny.
It would be funny. I don't know if I want to devote. If listeners will sponsor that, I don't want to necessarily pay $300.
Yeah. How expensive is it?
It's probably $300. That's my instinct and the first number that came to my head.
But having hip hop dance knowledge could only be more powerful in your life.
That's true.
Like.
Yeah.
How's that going to hurt you?
Yeah, no, and that's something that Naval was actually saying is like you shouldn't be an expert in one thing. You should try to be and expose yourself to as many things as possible and learn as many skills as you can. Don't just focus only on being the best in the world at one specific thing.
No, that's a good point, because, I mean, what if that one thing ends?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to have other things to jump to.
And that famous Miyamoto Musashi quote, know the way broadly and see it in all things. As you get better at philosophy and arithmetic and everything in your life, when you get better at one thing, you're going to see yourself improving in other things.
Kind of raises the levels on the whole EQ.
Yeah. I totally believe in that.
Yeah. So Sober October kind of started way before the actual Sober October. It started with who is fat? Hashtag Tom is fat. Hashtag Bert is fat. And that thing went fucking off the rails.
Yeah. They were both fat. Spoiler alert.
So when that started, Bert had actually just decided to focus on stand-up after doing the Travel Channel and all that other stuff. Joe had kind of had a talk with him about focusing. I think that fight's playing in the background.
What the fuck is happening? My girlfriend's computer. We were watching UFC on the computer, and
I hear Joe screaming somewhere.
It just started fucking playing randomly, even though the computer is closed. That is weird as fuck.
Fucking PCs.
Ghosts. Yeah. God damn you, Lenovo. But if you want to sponsor the podcast, get at me, Ruben Anderson.
We'll use all your equipment.
Yeah.
I'll wear a shirt and a hat. So Bert focused on his stand-up, and this Bert is fat thing blew him the fuck up.
Right.
And it also kind of blew up Tom and your mom's house, too. They were getting, like, entries from around the world. I'm sure you heard some of them on your mom's house.
Yeah, of course.
Like, classrooms full of kids will say Bert is fat.
Yeah.
People that don't speak English would
That's
puzzle out
interesting.
the words.
I hadn't really considered how much that, like, how famous they were before versus how much that, kind of elevated them.
I mean, Tom was well on his way, and Bert was they're both famous.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
To the small comic in an open mic, they're like, yeah, those guys are hella famous.
Yeah.
But in perspective to what they are now compared to then,
True.
it's definitely grown. So that was started. Actually, they did the weigh-in, and at the time, Tom, I think it was 1 pound less. They were trying to lose the most weight, and they both lost a fucking ton of weight.
They both lost a ton.
Yeah. But Tom edged him out a little bit.
Yeah.
They did that on
I feel like Tom is more like a naturally larger guy than Bert.
Yeah.
Bert is just fat because he has a
because
crazy
he's
lifestyle.
off the rails. He's a fucking savage. he drinks all day.
Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah,
that was like $8.94 and $8.95 if you want to go back and listen to the weigh-ins.
Cool.
Pretty cool listen.
I remember first hearing Bert when he was on Rogan, and they were talking about how Jay Moore was doing his telling his story about I'm gonna get everybody pregnant. Do you remember that?
Vaguely.
Fuck, what's that guy? Black guy. Oh, stab my son if he's gay. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
That might not be a good impression. But that's something he did say, and he got in trouble for. Fuck, I can't believe I'm spacing on it. And anyways, Jay Moore does this ridiculously great impression, way better than what I was just doing. And Bert has this amazing story about this actor that I fucking can't remember the name of because I'm on the spot right now and I didn't take Alpha Brain.
This shit always happens.
Fuck, it's the worst. And then like the more I try to remember it, the more it like gets worse. And my phone is on airplane mode, so I gotta fucking look it up. I just tried to do it in the
hamstrung yourself.
background. Jesus.
So
if people
fucking-
saw videos of me stumbling around my computer here, I just have to not think of it and it'll come to me, or search "I would stab my gay son" on the internet. There was a big controversy. He was on fucking Third Rock from the Sun. No, not Third Rock. 30 Rock.
Is it Tracy Morgan? you're
Tracy
thinking
Morgan
of?
is the guy.
Yeah.
So Bert has this real life true story about going and hanging out with Tracy Morgan. And
Yeah.
it's a fantastic story. And Jay Moore has this bonkersly good Tracy Morgan impression.
Yeah.
And so, and Jay and Bert were friends and were like out. I think Jay kind of brought Bert touring and when he was first just getting into stand up.
Right.
And, you know, so he heard the story and Bert was like, and he was like, oh, I got this impression. Like, can I tell that story? And Bert was like, oh, go.
That was good.
Yeah. And so Bert said, yeah, sure, go ahead, tell the story, but
Yeah.
didn't really feel good about it, I guess. And then it became this giant thing for Jay Moore. And then Rogan is very anti-piracy of jokes and don't
Right.
steal anyone's stories and stuff. And then Bert, I don't know, it became this giant controversy between where they were kind of between Jay and Joe, and Red Band was like just like going like savage on Twitter against Jay Moore and yelling at him.
Oh man.
And this was like in the first couple appearances of Bert Kreischer on Rogan.
right.
And Rogan wasn't nearly the fucking force that it is now. Then, like this, you might have there maybe was 100,000 people listening to it, but it was controversy, and those 100,000 people were like, "Hey, yeah, fuck Jay Moore."
Yeah.
And
Listening to
everyone-
him, and by the way, podcasts in general.
Yeah,
Nobody was listening then.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's how I kind of came to learn about Bert, and that's what elevated him to fame for me.
Yeah.
But even before that, he was famous. He was
Well, clearly Joe Rogan. I would have
Yeah.
never heard of any of these guys if
Yeah.
it wasn't for Joe Rogan.
totally, except that like Van Wilder, I thought was a fantastic movie, and that's actually based
Yeah.
on Bert Kreischer's real life college
Which is pretty
experience.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, was 2017 the first sober October, and that first year, they just basically were doing a sobriety thing at first, and then they added in like 15 exercise sessions
Right.
they had to get done in the month of October.
That wasn't the hot yoga yet?
Well, it turned into mostly hot yoga, but when it started, the thing was exercise sessions.
Oh, okay.
But at first, Joe didn't want to give up the weed because he was like, "It's not a thing."
Right. And they
that-
didn't.
He didn't at first.
First
But then the internet fucking roasted him. Did you remember all the memes? Pray for Joe.
Yeah, I totally do.
There's an artist, Dosbrack. You can see a lot of his stuff on Instagram. He did some fucking great drawings about Pray for Joe. That shit was hilarious.
Okay. Well, let's post some links to that too on our
Totally.
areas.
Yeah, we'll have to remind each other some of this shit.
Yeah.
Because we talk a mad game about
You
our
mostly
social-
do the social media.
I know,
and so that's on you.
I have this problem. I do lots of it right around our episode drops, and then I
Yeah.
kind of like peter off as I'm not thinking about our shows anymore
Yeah.
for a week or so.
That's typically you want people to be engaged
The whole time.
the whole time.
Every day you
But
should post something,
I don't know.
really. Yeah, I got to just get after it.
Yeah.
But so ended up, Joe did quit it because the internet killed him.
Okay.
And he did have a hard time with it, and it did become a thing where he's like, yeah, okay, I do need a fucking month off.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of thinking maybe I fucking do too.
Everything in moderation. Yeah. I like I've taken a couple of breaks from drinking over the last year.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of feeling, I mean, I know I got a summer ahead of me where I'm probably going to be drinking a fair bit.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't mind going sober,
October at the end of a summer might not
sober
be bad.
September/October.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck you guys. I can do 2 months.
Yeah,
But
totally.
probably not whatever thing you're doing.
But then, like, we could add in some kind of an exercise.
We could, and probably should. I get my exercise. I like golf. I feel like golf. I need to get addicted to more things that are really good for me.
Yeah.
And golf is one of the things where it's 10,000 steps and it's low aerobic, but it is activity and it's time where I'm not on the couch eating fucking chips and being a fat piece of shit.
Yeah.
So I want to get addicted to more things that I can go out and do. Bike riding and there's stuff that I know that I enjoy doing, but I'm sure there's new thing. Maybe fucking hip hop dance classes is the ticket, and maybe I would enjoy that
might
way
be
more
fun,
than I
man.
think I would enjoy it.
So last year they just did a points counter on their My Trackers or
Yeah,
whatever the hell that
It
thing
was based
called.
on heart rate and who can have their heart rate elevated
And-
into the proper zone the most amount of time.
Last year this bothered me, and it even bothers me more this year.
Yeah.
Obviously Joe's gonna win this thing.
Yeah.
Joe's like the most fit guy I can think of.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
Yeah. No, Bert has a fantastic point about like, hey, let's do something that none of us are good at, so it's
Yeah.
a bit more of an even playing field.
Totally.
Yeah. Although it was closer. I mean, Ari is a savage, and he did go hard.
And guess what? I say Joe kills them at hip hop dancing too.
Probably.
But still, at least it's something out of their wheelhouse.
Yeah, probably music lessons. That could be something. I mean, it's not really necessarily physically active, but like if it was like who could learn to play the guitar the best in a month, that might. I mean, that should be our challenge right now.
That would be a fair one, totally.
Yeah.
So fucking. So the thing is, Joe was complaining that how are you going to judge it? We have to have outside judges then.
Yeah.
And he was very against that.
I get that too. Like you don't want to put it in the hands of other people.
Yeah, but not just anyone. We can make it fun. Like we could make it like
Should be
fucking
listeners, but
Fighter
then
and the
people can
Kid
like,
judge it or some shit
Yeah.
like that. I don't know.
That's true. I guess you could have known people as judges.
Yeah.
But
But Joe basically goes, "Nope, we're gonna run." And everyone's like, "Yeah, okay, I guess we're gonna do what Joe says."
yeah, running. Yeah, running most miles run. That's an easy one to track, and it's like
Yeah.
there's a clear winner, and it can't be influenced by like that. I think that's Joe's biggest problem is like everyone has biases, and you make people judges, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh well, Joe's better friends. He's best friends with Brian Callen, so you
Yeah.
have Fighter and the Kid judging him. Of course, they give it to Joe. Right? Or they feel like, hey, they can't give it to Joe because they're good friends and they have
Right.
these biases. And if you're going to just let the general world judge it, obviously Joe is 1,000 times more famous than Bert or Tom.
So
or
that way, Joe's
combined.
like, we can record actual steps ran.
Yeah. So,
But again, if you follow Instagram, Joe Rogan, he's running every day, and not just running, but running hills.
yeah, no, I know. He's got a giant step ahead on them.
Yeah.
For
so again,
sure.
it's not fair, really.
But Bert did run a marathon.
I like
uh,
Ari's challenge, the no phone challenge or
yeah.
whatever it was.
But like they were saying, then we don't get to follow along with it.
And actually, I can't remember who said it, but someone was like, we could just use real cameras and have our assistants fucking upload the shit.
Yeah, true.
We don't
Yeah.
have to look at it at all.
Yeah.
I like that one because that's a real challenge and actually might bring up some real feelings and fucking.
Yeah, I wonder. It'd be hard to track, and I mean,
But that's
I
the
guess
one
they-
that as hard as Joe pushed back on the dancing, that's how hard Bert pushed back on the no phone thing because
Yeah,
I think he's the worst culprit,
probably.
which they kind of determined, I think, by
Yeah.
their screen time.
Yeah,
And I won't even tell you
screen time
mine's fucking gross.
It's hours for sure.
But that's
for
because
me.
I listen to things.
You know what? I have a ton of my hours. Well, no, it doesn't count. It's
Oh, it's actual on?
yeah, it's actual on screen time. Not if you're just listening to a podcast in the background, that doesn't count as screen time.
Okay.
But I have it because I don't even want to talk about it.
just stepping away from that hot potato.
I have a lot of screen time. I have about 3 hours a day of screen time where I'm not looking at the phone. It's just on,
It's just on.
and I'm not looking at it or paying attention to it.
So that would
almost
count
at
as
all.
YouTube videos playing, obviously,
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
which is very similar to a podcast where sometimes you're totally not watching that at all.
yeah.
You're just
YouTube
hearing
videos
it.
definitely count as screen time.
Okay. Well, yeah. So, I mean, I hope they go for the dancing. I think it's going to be the running, but
Yeah, I hope
Spoiler
they go for dancing
alert,
too. I vote for dancing.
yeah, totally.
Okay, so should we get into the UFCs?
Let's do it.
238. We just watched a little bit later than than when it aired. Let's talk about Ferguson and Cowboy right off the bat. That was the main thing I wanted to watch. Didn't go the way I wanted it to, especially in the fight. Like the first round, super competitive.
Yeah.
They're back and forth. They're both landing great shots, and then the second round, Ferguson kind of started to take over. And the more he was starting to take over, the more I'm like, come on, Cowboy!
Yeah,
I
you
wanna-
started to realize who
Yeah.
you wanted to have it.
Like I wanted him to land a big shot, especially coming from behind. If it would have been the third round, he lands a big head kick or gets some crazy submission, like that would have been, I would have been way happier for that result than I am for Ferguson.
So-
I like Ferguson too.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
there was
his
also some controversy.
Cowboy's eye was fucked.
It was fucked.
And he even knew when he blew his nose. You could see the thing fucking swell up live on TV.
Yeah,
It's
he
crazy.
tried to blow his nose, but his nose is plugged, and instead that air pushes, because your eyes are actually connected to your nose. That's why people can shoot milk out of their eye and whatnot.
Yeah.
So as soon as he tried to blow his nose, that air just pushed into the like eye socket and inflated it and closed it.
So he was trying to push it back out. You could see him while the doctors talked to him. He's fucking jamming his fucked up eye around.
Yeah.
Like, oh my
Yeah,
god.
what a heart on that guy.
Oh,
like,
my God.
He wanted to continue, obviously,
Yeah.
and I'm sure he felt like an idiot and felt terrible
For
for even trying to blow his nose. Although he was obviously like it was pretty close to you just stopping it, even without that eye.
He was going to lose
issue.
that fight, even
But
without the stoppage.
Also, Ferguson threw a punch after the
Right.
well after
Yeah,
the bell, and how much that punch could have contributed to the his nose and eye problem.
It
I don't know.
connected right on his fucking
It was
nose.
right on his nose,
Right down the pipe.
So that was not cool. I wish that didn't happen. That got like giant boos. The crowd, Ferguson totally lost the crowd. I mean, everyone it seemed like was more on Cowboy side anyways, but after that, it was like.
Do you think though that I mean, not that it's an excuse, but it was really just he was that much into the fight that I think he was just fucked up in the head. I don't think he was trying to steal a punch. I don't really think that's his game. But
I agree. Yeah, I don't think that either.
Yeah.
I think it was accident. I think it was accidental.
Yeah. I like Tony too, man. It's
I do
tough when
too.
two guys fight that I
Yeah.
like.
I like Tony. I like Cowboy more.
Yeah, way more.
And
especially outside the ring, Cowboy way more.
yeah. But if Cowboy was beating up Ferguson, maybe I would have felt like, oh man, come on, Tony. Like,
Come on, Tony, get it together. Yeah.
there's something we like an underdog winning. That's just a natural human thing that we like. So
there's this side problem with Cowboy losing that fight. That was probably his last shot at a title ever.
yeah, that also makes it.
He's never getting that again.
I wanted him to win for that. He was saying he doesn't want to be known as like the greatest fighter to never win a championship.
Right. Which he kind of
he is. Yeah.
He is the greatest fighter to never win.
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah, to me as well.
After this, though, what's left for him?
I don't
know
know.
what I'm saying?
I mean, I guess he could keep going, but
Or go
this
back
is gonna,
up to welterweight where he was doing well for a while?
I don't think so. I don't think welterweight's the ticket. He can
It's
He
time
can
to-
do well there, but it's
Grow
no.
your mullet.
And I don't know. I wonder
Go
if
to your ranch.
Ugh.
God, I just want to see him retire. Actually.
Yeah, I guess so. And that my instinct is that'll probably be what happens.
Only
Unless
probably I see him taking a few more terrible fucking. I mean, maybe he'll win a couple more too. That's the thing with Cowboy. He's so skilled. Like
Yeah, he can win any fight. And
he
he
can
could have
just
won.
come out and win.
Could have won this one potentially. It could have gone either way, and just as easily.
I
But
think Tony moves stranger than any other fighter too, man.
yeah,
He's tough to fucking read.
what if Dana just said, you know what, fuck it, we're giving Cowboy the title shot.
You're fighting Khabib.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
They've done shit like that.
I
before.
know. I wouldn't like totally put it past them, but that would be so much more blatant than any of the other things that they've done.
Yeah.
So, it started the night off with Tai Tuivasa and Blablekhanov Ivanov. What did you think?
Blagovi or
Blagovi,
Blagovi or
Belarus Ivanov.
terrible.
Baloney. Yeah. And went to the decision. And
Yeah.
they were like standing in the middle, just swinging at each other the whole time.
Yeah.
Both tough guys, obviously. But yeah, definitely it was a good decision. Ivanov did
Baloney
more.
took it. Yeah.
Yeah, Baloney got the win.
Deserved it.
Then it was Jamie Riviera versus Peter Yan. And Yan ended up taking the decision there. Riviera seemed like he looked like the more skilled fighter to me, actually. Watching
Yeah.
the fight, he seemed like he was more skilled, but
They've
just
been hyping him hard too, though.
yeah.
Like
and
I'm sometimes like, is he skilled or are they just talking about how skilled he is so
I don't
much?
know.
You know what I mean?
he wasn't doing a lot of damage to Yan. That is clear.
Yeah. He's a real wrestler type, eh? That Rivera, is that right?
He wasn't wrestling. It was mostly striking.
Was he?
in the fight? I think.
I
yeah.
barely remember that fight.
Yeah, it was a little bit forgettable.
Yeah.
So let's move on to Shevchenko and Jessica Ai.
Oh my god.
Oh my God, Shevchenko dominated the first round. It was like, oh, they looked like not like Jessica
She's
Ai
a
had no.
Fucking robot, man. Even the way she moves, she
Yeah.
doesn't react to anything. I
Amazing.
feel like she just
Totally, it looked like a terrible matchup. You're like,
Oh,
and I
it's
guess
horrible.
Jessica Ai is a top level competitor, but like, just there was not even close to at any point was it close. There's no, the whole first round was Shevchenko, and then the like most devastating, they were saying one of the most brutal knockouts in UFC history.
So Shevchenko could have done that in the first round anytime she wanted. She was reading her.
Yeah.
Because literally as soon as the second round opened, she was like, boop.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
And she killed the bitch.
Threw a kick to the body, which was devastating kicks to the body.
Right. So it had her drop her
and
arm.
so then that was, as soon as she saw the kick coming, she was going to protect the body, and then her head was open, and then boom. So 26 seconds into the second round, holy fuck, head kick. Amazing. Also made me sad. Like when I see,
she was
see
knocked
that, I'm
out
like, yeah,
longer than the round was.
yeah, she was. She was unconscious for like a good couple of minutes, which is like normally people are getting knocked unconscious. They're unconscious for 10 to 30 seconds. You're not normally unconscious that long. But I will say that at the end, she was standing on her own for the like the announcements and whatever.
She did get up at the end.
She did get up. She was standing on her own accord.
She was all, what happened? Did I get knocked out?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, a little bit, lady.
Yeah, don't watch it. Don't just stay off the internet for the next couple of weeks.
She's the female Ivan Drago.
Yeah.
Fucking Shevchenko. She is scary.
Totally. I was thinking Russian. I mean, you hear a name like Shevchenko, but she's actually, they said the name is Kyrgyzstan, I think is where she's from.
Yeah.
Which is like Central Asia, I guess, near Russia. Probably formerly.
Pretty much Russia, I think.
Yeah, pretty much Russia. Russia-esque. Russia adjacent.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then the main event was Henry Cejudo versus Marlon Moraes. We were laughing about Cejudo. We don't like him for some reason. Great. He's a talented fighter, I guess. He's good, but he's just unlikable, and the internet's calling him cringy, which I think is hilarious.
That's fucking
He's
funny,
wearing
man.
a cape. He's a little bit high on himself, and you have to be that,
Yeah.
I guess, to a certain extent. Although
But
GSP was fucking never that.
if I never see his Olympic gold medal again, it'll be too soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
He called himself, he's like, I'm triple C.
No.
'Cause he's not champ, I'm triple C because I got an Olympic medal. That's not what champ means.
Not how it works, bro.
Yeah, lots of other people have other fucking championships in other organizations.
Are they even called champs when they win a gold medal? Is that a thing in the Olympics?
I don't know, not really. I guess.
Olympic champion?
Yeah.
Is it a thing?
I
Okay.
think it is. I guess. Yeah.
Sounds wacky to me.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was a little bit gross. But he did end up beating Marlon Moraes pretty. Like the first round of that fight was like kind of back and forth, maybe even more Moraes.
More Moraes.
And then-
Joe was saying that it seemed like he was winning it way more than I thought, actually.
Yeah, I didn't think it was. I thought it was close, but yeah, a little bit edged out from Moraes.
Yeah.
The kicks from Moraes were definitely the biggest factor in that first round. But
Yeah.
then in the second round, Cejudo made some adjustments and was just lighting him up with his boxing, and specifically the tie clinch. Like he'd get his hands around him, and it looked like Moraes ate about 30 knees to the face, and also like sick knees to the body as well.
Totally. He fucking stole his soul, man. By the end of that thing, he was beating up a dummy. Like, he was
Yeah.
barely defending.
It was stopped with 10 seconds left in was it the fourth round or the third round?
third round.
Was it third?
Yeah.
Yeah. Stopped with 10 seconds left. And the second and third rounds were really domination by Cejudo.
Yeah.
Cejudo, the 10% dwarf.
That's why you don't fuck with dwarfs, man.
Yeah.
They'll beat your ass and make you look really embarrassed at the same time.
So that was awesome. Upcoming 239 is like the big fight week fight card in Vegas, and return of John Jones, who that's the main event is John Jones versus Thiago Santos, I believe.
Who's a bit of a killer.
Oh yeah.
Like, don't sleep on Santos.
He's got the like giant hammer on his tattoo, right? And like, yeah, fuck.
I could see him ruining John's night.
Yeah, I think he doesn't have the skill that John has. No one does.
Man, John, he's really skilled, but I feel like people are on his nuts so much. Like, there's
They
been
pump him
some
up more
fights
than-
where, like the first Gustafsson fight,
Yeah,
that was not amazing. Anything John did in that fight? Not really.
not really.
I don't even
guess.
have him winning that fight, really, to
Yeah.
be honest.
Fair enough. Okay.
The second
Um,
one, he killed fucking Gustafsson.
Yeah,
And I think he got better, but
Yeah, I'm just basing it on, I guess, my last few performances. Seeing him
Yeah.
against Cormier, seeing him the fucking British guy, whatever it was, the last one, Andrew, no,
Anthony.
Anthony,
Was he British?
Lionheart. Yeah, I think he
Oh,
is, isn't
okay. I wasn't sure.
he?
I don't
could be
remember
wrong.
his voice at all now.
I could be wrong about that. He might not be. Lionheart seems like a British kind of
That's a pretty British thing to
thing
say.
to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, who knows? Anyways, John Jones, always fun to watch. That'll be an amazing fight. Nunes versus Holly Holm. That'll be an amazing fight. Amanda Nunes, there's a strong argument there for best pound for pound fighter
Totally.
in the UFC.
And how many bones are they throwing home? Like,
Yeah,
what is she, like, fucking 6-0 or
I'm
some shit?
I'm scared.
Like, or 0-6, I should say.
Yeah, the thing I'm looking at on my screen right here has percentages. Like I think it's like kind of listener percentages of who they think is going to win.
Yeah.
90% John Jones versus Thiago Santos.
Wow.
86% think Nunes is going to beat Holly Holm.
No, I think so too.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
And then 60% Lockhold versus Blachowicz. Jan Blachowicz. I think that's how you say that.
Rockhold better hope he beats that guy.
Yeah. Sometimes I wonder with these things, like how much is that just because Rockhold is a much bigger name than Blachowicz? How many of people actually think? Do you think it's 60% chance that he's going to win?
I don't know.
Or is
It's
it
his
just he's
first light
60%?
heavyweight fight, so we'll see.
I guess. I don't think it's a 60% chance that Rockhold will win.
I don't even know that other guy, so it's not even really fair for me to say.
I think that's why Rockhold has the 60 at the edge.
Yeah.
Is it because I think he might even be the other opposite, 40% chance.
I know I've seen Rockhold not protect his chin a bunch of times and get
Yeah.
knocked the fuck
Yeah,
out.
totally.
So we'll see.
Yeah, if he can get on top. But the question is also at light heavyweight, will he have will his top game be as devastating? Will he
Yeah.
be able to control
Will he
people
be
the way
more
he would?
powerful? Maybe.
Maybe.
Who knows? I mean,
But I think he'll be smaller in relative to everyone else in the division. So that's got to
side note:
harder.
Weidman's moving up to light heavyweight as well.
Oh, yeah.
So there's some good fights there for John.
Yeah,
If they can make it to John.
yeah,
We'll
totally.
see.
And then we've also got Jorge Masvidal versus Ben Askren. That is a fucking screamer. And 62% say Masvidal.
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with that, but
Who did Askren fought someone to huge controversy last time?
yeah, that was Lawler.
Lawler, right?
Yeah, we
I
talked
got
about that.
Masvidal beating the fucking piss out of fucking Askren, and I hope so, man.
I
I
don't-
so hope so.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
I don't
then
like Askren.
there's also Diego Sanchez versus Michael Chiesa on that
Yeah.
card, which is 79% people think Chiesa.
Is that Chiesa's first fight since getting glass in his eye?
I think it might be. Yeah, I think it
Since,
is actually.
Dollygate?
My dog's name is Dolly, so
Oh, that's
it's,
right, yeah.
that has an extra
That
funny,
rung
bit of
strange for you.
funniness for me. And yeah, then there's a whole bunch of like Gilbert Melendez versus Arnold Allen, Sean O'Malley versus Marion Vera.
Oh, we've been waiting on Sean O'Malley to come back too.
Yeah, he was on Rogan, right?
Yeah.
And is smoking a bunch of weed.
Yeah,
Is
he's a
that-
big smoker
yeah,
for sure.
that was a good episode.
Yeah.
Edmund Shebananian, I don't know who that is, versus Jack Marshman, and then Julia Alvia versus Melissa Gatto. And there's not even a picture for Melissa Gatto. There might not be a picture for Julia Alvia either. They seem to be nobodies.
We might have him.
And we were supposed to have Francis Ngannou versus somebody big too, but that got canceled.
Who the fuck was he fighting? It must have been someone huge.
I forget, but it was someone big, someone that I'm like, oh yeah, that's who it was.
Not Stipe, because he's fighting Cormier.
I have a picture of it on my phone here. I'll fucking bring it up. It was supposed to be Ngannou versus Junior Dos Santos.
Right.
That's who it was. JDS.
Jeez, that's an interesting one actually.
Yeah, I wish that was
If
happening.
JDS gets in the way, his head gets destroyed. But
Oh yeah, my guess is that would have been Ngannou knocking out Junior. But
yeah, unless it goes to wrestling though, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't Ngannou or Junior Dos Santos? He's a jiu-jitsu guy, isn't he?
I think so. Yeah, he's Brazilian for sure.
Yeah, they're all kind of like come out the womb that way. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
So, anyways, that's an amazing card upcoming. Yeah, any last minute things that we need to talk about here, Shane? Oh yeah, we want to talk about just quickly some other big things in sports just happened.
And
Go
I have
ahead.
a couple things after that, but first,
God damn it, Shane.
quick things. I promise.
This is over 44 minutes in right now. Let's aim to be wrapped up for 50.
Okay, we can do this in 6 minutes.
All right.
The Raptors won
Yeah.
their first fucking NBA. What is it? Championship?
Yeah, NBA
I
championship.
don't watch the shit.
First
but-
like major sports for the four major sports. First one for Toronto since '93. And really,
also our first basketball win ever. I would
first
think.
basketball win ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
I say our.
our.
I've never watched one game.
I did watch actually a bunch of them.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. I heard you were saying you were having like a a meetup type thing.
Yeah, we went out, played some bocce, and then we went and watched the game, and then I watched last night here at my house.
Nice.
And yeah, I've watched a few of the other games in the watched is maybe not the right word. I've had them on while they've been on in my peripheral.
It's been around.
So I'm not a giant basketball fan, but it is fun to see Canada winning something.
Totally.
Feels like it's been forever.
I think so.
Since '93.
Sweet. Is that what the Blue Jays was that?
Blue Jays, yeah.
We've had nothing since
Blue Jays
that,
had the
or
World
they've had
Series.
nothing.
I don't think so. No, certainly because the Leafs. I don't know who would have been the last person to win a Stanley Cup from Canada. Would it be Edmonton? Yeah, I guess so.
Must be.
Yeah.
Really?
And that would have been... Yeah,
Didn't Vancouver win one?
in the 90... No, Vancouver got to the finals, but they lost.
Right.
And they rioted.
Speaking of NHL,
Set things on fire.
the Blues won their first cup ever.
Yeah.
And that's a way bigger deal because they've
That-
been playing forever.
Yeah, they're maybe in the original 8 or whatever it was.
Yeah, not the first 6, but they were the first expansion.
Yeah, first 10, the first expansion.
Yeah.
So that is awesome. My son's favorite team is the St. Louis Blues.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I've been texting him like, "Go Blues!"
That's awesome.
because I'm cheering for them. I like St. Louis. I like that it's a music. Music is one of my biggest passions. So I like that they have sort of a music affiliation for their team.
Yeah.
So I can cheer for them. Brett Hall, amazing, one of the most amazing players to ever play. And so yeah, I can totally get behind the Blues. They're in my top. I mean, I got to go Edmonton number 1. I think I go LA number 2.
Yeah.
Because Gretzky got traded to LA like right when I was
I remember watching LA too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that team was amazing with Robitaille and McZorley and Kelly Rudy. But anyways, yeah. So I think I go LA number 2, and I think St. Louis number 3.
So I was kind of rooting for the Bruins just because I follow Bill Burr so closely.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
been so jacked up about the Bruins being there.
Yeah.
But even he, I listened to his Thursday morning after Monday morning podcast.
Yeah. And he was saying,
He couldn't even help but smile. 'cause-
get on him,
Yeah.
fucking
exactly.
fucking assholes.
Fucking cunts.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bill Burr's the best.
Yeah, I like Bill Burr.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I'm still happy too.
Okay.
I
What's
don't-
the other things? So those are the
Mostly,
other,
I just don't give a fuck about sports. Let me end on that.
Yeah,
But,
I love sports, but also I don't really care that much. So what was the other things you want to talk about here at the end?
So first of all, go to our Amazon link. Go to our webpage. Watch our fucking shows there.
Sure. Go to the webpage, watch the shows there, click on the Amazon link, go buy a whole bunch, spend millions of dollars, and we might get like $10.
So buy whatever you were gonna buy.
Buy whatever you're going to buy, plus an extra $1 million worth of things,
Yeah.
and maybe we'll get $10 out
We'll
of
get
it.
$10.
And it would help us a ton because this show costs money to do. And Shane doesn't have any money, so it's not like he can pay me anything.
No,
I'm just paying
broke
the whole
as
thing
shit.
out of my pocket right now.
I mean, I'm waiting for my big break, and it's coming. It's coming. But
I think so. Yeah, probably.
I'm being positive.
Yeah,
But also, just going there drives some more Google stuff towards our money bags. So
that's true. Yeah, the more people go to our website,
it actually helps to just go there.
just go to the website
Don't be a dick.
and download and rate 5 stars and subscribe to all the things.
And you
Click
can
like.
find it. It's theroganreport.com. It
Yeah.
could not be easier.
TheRoganReport.com, the Rogan Report at Gmail if you want to send us a message.
Yeah.
Um,
So I have this idea for episode 50. I've mentioned it before.
yeah.
Doing a Centurion party.
Okay.
I'd actually like to.
I think it needs to be. Shouldn't be Centurion.
You don't have to even call it a Centurion. I just want to do a
It
Centurion.
should be 50 things.
Yeah.
The Centurion is 100 shots of beer in 100 minutes.
Okay. Do
We
you
should
want to
do
do
that
a
on
half?
episode 100.
You want to do
Maybe we
something
do 50
else then?
shots of wine.
Yeah,
Or-
okay.
Or something.
50 whatevers.
50 something. Yeah, we'll talk more about that. We'll do something special for episode 50.
But
I'm
I
on
also
board
want to
with that.
get a keg and stuff. And I've got a brother-in-law that does some really good smoking.
Oh shit.
And he's actually become kind of an Instagram star here in Edmonton. He's
Yeah.
like over 15,000 followers.
I've seen a lot of his posts.
At
Looks
Dark Side of the
looks
Grill.
fucking delicious.
It is
That-
delicious.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping he could cater it. And I've got some other good friends that could get music happening for the event. And I even have a hall
Oh.
lined up.
You got a haul lined up.
So this is all going to cost money, and we'll talk
That's amazing.
a little
Okay.
closer. But I'd like to do that and have a celebration for our friends, family, and
Yeah.
Edmonton podcasts that want to join us.
Let's talk more about that. I think that sounds like a lot of fun.
Cool.
Okay. 49 minutes and 25 seconds. Thanks, everyone.
We did
It's
it.
been awesome to do this with you guys, and I look forward to the next episode.
We'll see you sooner.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
This podcast is for you, my man. or woman, or non-binary. Our recaps will be legendary. The Rogan Report Podcast. Come on, you'll have a blast at the Rogan Report Podcast.